Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Anna. If you're new here, I do makeup reviews, makeup tutorials, skincare, anything beauty related, I got you covered. Today's video is going to be a dupes video. I recently reviewed the Chanel LES Beiges Soliel Tan Deep Bronze. I know I am butchering that, I apologize, but it's their new bronzer, the deep shade. And I mentioned in my video that I had found, or I could think of a couple of bronzers like off the top of my head that I think would be good dupes. So that's what this video is going to be. I will timestamp it down below. And yeah, let's get started. All right, so this bronzer is a cream bronzer from Chanel. Apparently, now after doing research after, it's been reformulated. Now it has coconut oil. The previous bronzer ingredient list didn't have coconut oil. So in case you are sensitive to that, maybe you want to avoid it, just so you know. This is news to me. You can definitely double check that on your end. This retails for $50. You get 30 grams or 1 ounce, which, you know, you get a decent size in here. Okay, so really quick, in regards to the shade, I got comments under my video where most of you thought the same way I thought, where as far as this being a deeper shade, I wouldn't call it like the shade that's going to work for deep skin tones. But again, my own personal opinion, my own, this is me using it on my skin tone and then kind of seeing how it works. Now, I did watch other people's videos who were deeper rich tone than I am, and it seemed to work for them. They were happy with it. I still stand by my opinion of, if you are a lot darker than me, or like if you're tan and like deep rich skin tone, I don't think it's going to work. I think there are other options out there, and I think that for the price point you could find something else. But again, my own opinions, you can agree with me, you can disagree with me, totally fine. It's just makeup. I have a couple of dupes here. I have dupes that I feel have the same kind of texture, consistency, and then I have dupes that are close in color. And most of them, now that I'm looking, are pretty affordable. Only one or two from the same company, depending on where you find it, is affordable, or it's, you know, it's a decent price point. So let's start off with that. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Chanel bronzer. I'm going to use the back of my hand because if I do this, this might actually work. I don't know. I'll tell you what though, this part of my hand is a lot more tan than this part, so maybe we'll just do that. I'm going to take the Chanel bronzer and I am going to swatch it like a long line this way, I think, and then we're going to swatch across to see. That way you can see the color compared to it. So I'm going to load it up. This is what it looks like heavy swatch. Let me make it more even, hold on. All right, that's the swatch. So you can see it against my skin tone. And we're just gonna swatch the ones next to it. Okay, so for starters, the ones that appear to be kind of close to it, first up are going to be the Milk Makeup, the matte bronzer sticks. Because I was playing around and I swatched them and I feel like they're just as creamy. So I'm gonna take Blaze. I would say between Blaze and Baked, Blaze is closer, it's just a little bit deeper. So see how it's like a little deeper? This is Blaze and the Chanel. Next is Baked, which is lighter, but it has a similar undertone. See how, if you're looking at it, so this is the Chanel, the Blaze just, it's got a little more brown in it, but it's a little similar, and as far as finish, they're creamy, you know? They have a similar finish. Next up now the rest are actually affordable. Next up for color, like closest to color, I would say is the Physicians Formula Organic Wear Sculpting Bronzer. This one has seen better days. in the shade Mocha. I think it's Mocha, the lighter one of the two. See, that's it right there. It has a different undertone too, but same like consistency. But they have like, I don't know if you can see it, but they just have a similar undertone, but it's a little bit lighter. Then you have the deeper shade of the Physicians Formula. Again, these are really creamy and they're so like underrated. So the deeper shade is similar to this one, but it just has a different undertone. And I have 3 more to go. Now, I know everybody's been asking me to compare these to the bronzer. Now, I have the Body Soul or Soul Body from ColourPop, and these are a little bit different. These are more like of an orangey undertone, and you can even see it in the pan. This one is in shade Dark. See, yeah, that's more orange. So as far as color, the color is not the same. The consistency is the same though. And then I have Medium Dark. See, different undertones. Then one that I found that I think is kind of close to it is going to be from Physicians Formula, and it is the Sculpting Bronzer. That one's a little closer, but again, different undertone. So here's the Physicians Formula. See how the color is I would say it's probably the closest out of all of them. That's a powder bronzer, but it has like a creamy texture to it. And then last but not least, I figured it was worth throwing in there, but the color is a little bit different, is the L'Oreal True Match Lumi Bronze It. Trying to see if I have a spot to... It's kind of close, but not really. I figured it was worth throwing in there. I would say out of all of these, the closest match is the Physicians Formula as far as color goes. And, hang on. The Physicians Formula, the Sculpting Bronzers. These ones. The dark one actually, I feel like it's a little closer. I will do up close swatches for you guys, but I wanted to show you here like in light as well. And again, this is a little bit darker than my face and this part of my hand, but I know you're going to want to see up close swatches, so hang tight. We're going to go into the swatches. Alright, so these, I re-swatched them just so you guys could see, and I put them in a better order as far as which ones I thought were a closer match. So the stripe at the top is Chanel. This here is Physicians Formula, the Sculpting Bronzer, the Butter Bronzer. That one I feel is probably the closest in shade. Then this is the Physicians Formula, the Sculpting Bronzer, the cream, like the stick. This is the dark shade. Then next to that is the Milk Matte Bronzer in Blaze. So those are the top 3 that I would say are probably the closest to this. Then it starts to get a little bit lighter, but it's the same consistency, texture. This is the Milk Makeup Baked. This is the Physicians Formula, the lighter shade of the cream bronzer. And then this is the L'Oreal Deep Lumi Bronzer. I know it's not very close to it, but they have like that kind of twinkle or sparkle, or whatever, not even a sparkle, like a glow, just like the Chanel does. So hopefully you guys can see that. Let me put the flash on. Hopefully that makes a little more sense. Alright, so you saw the up close swatches. I do realize that I forgot to add these into the swatch, the sole body, but in my honest opinion, I don't think that they're close to it. That's why, you know, I mean, you saw the swatches here, but I think the ones that I picked were the ones, in my opinion, that were the closest to it as far as being a dupe. So to kind of round out the video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the Chanel on one side, and then I'm going to put the Physicians Formula, the Sculpting bronzer, on the other side, just so you can kind of see comparisons, and then we'll go into natural light so you can see how they sit on the skin. It is so hot today. It's like 90 degrees or like 95 degrees. And the crazy thing is tomorrow it's going to drop to like 60 or 70. Good old Jersey weather. I'm going to take the Chanel bronzer, and I'm going to take an Eco Tools sheer blush brush. It's like a stippling brush. And I'm just going to load that up. And today I have on my Jones Road face pencil in shade 14, because I forgot to mention that before. I have like very little foundation on. Like today's one of those days where I don't want to put on too much. I know you guys always ask what is my like foundation shade, just for reference, and the best thing I could tell you is for the MAC Radiance, I am shade C3, and then in the High Fidelity, I'm shade KB 350, I believe. I'll add it down below. I'm usually, I have like a sweat mustache. I'm usually RMS 33, but I have to double check that because I don't know if that's like my shade now. So that is the Chanel. It's showing up today because the foundation I have on is little, like, it's definitely a little more closer to my skin tone. So, Chanel. And then again, my opinion, I think that the Butter Bronzer is probably the closest in shade, if not the Physicians Formula. But this one to me had the best, like, kind of undertone glow and everything, so I am taking a little bit of that. See how they kind of show up the same on my face? And now I know a lot of it has to do with the undertone. I mentioned this before with another video as far as bronzers. Bronzers will look different on different people. If you and I both have this bronzer and I put it on, but you have a different undertone than I do, it's going to look a little bit different. So like for me, both of these colors tend to kind of turn just a bit like rosy on my cheeks. Can you see that? So, all right, let's go into natural light so you can see, and then we can round up this video and I'll let you guys go. All right, so I'm in front of the window. I'm gonna get in close. This is Chanel. And this is Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. They look very similar to each other. So, all right, so there you have it. That's them up close. Again, I showed the other dupes that I think are dupes for it, but I would say this is the closest, and applied on my face, they look like virtually the same color. So if you are on the hunt for the Chanel LES Beige, I honestly think you don't need it. You don't have to splurge on it. I think there's other affordable options out there, and runner up is that, or number one is going to be the Physicians Formula, the Butter Bronzer, and then the other ones that I also compared it to. But that to me was like swatched, very good, very identical. So let me know what you think. Comment down below. I'm dying to hear your thoughts. And yeah, Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for hanging out with me. And if you made it this far, don't forget to like the video and hit that subscribe button if you haven't. And I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.